And then there is the Peregrine Falcon, one of the most extraordinary hunters in the sky. The Peregrine Falcon doesn't need to chase everything at ground level. It watches from above. Below, a flock of birds moves through the open air. The Peregrine Falcon is watching. Then the Peregrine Falcon changes everything. It folds its wings and dives.
At full speed, the Peregrine Falcon can reach extraordinary speeds during its hunting dive.
But speed isn't the whole secret. The Peregrine Falcon must also control that speed. One mistake at this speed could mean missing the target. The Peregrine Falcon has one chance. And that is what makes the Peregrine Falcon so remarkable. Not simply speed, but precision. But speed isn't the only way a bird can hunt. In Africa, another bird uses something far more subtle.
This is the Black Heron, a hunter that can turn its wings into an umbrella. Instead of chasing fish in open sunlight, and the Black Heron creates its own shade.
The shadow reduces the glare on the water, and suddenly prey becomes easier to see. The Black Heron doesn't need to rush. It waits for the right moment.
Then everything happens in an instant.
The Black Heron has turned shade into a hunting advantage. But this isn't a magic trick. The Black Heron is using light and shadow. One bird uses gravity. Another uses shadow. Both are solving the same problem. And while the Black Heron hunts with light and shadow, and another bird has the opposite strategy. It tries to disappear.
Some birds escape by flying. The Potoo does something far more strange.
This is the Potoo, a nocturnal hunter with one extraordinary defense. It doesn't build a fortress. It doesn't run into a burrow. It becomes the tree.
During the day, the Potoo can remain almost perfectly still.
Then, night changes everything. The Potoo finally opens its eyes. The Potoo isn't just a master of camouflage. It's a predator. It waits above the darkness, watching for movement. Then the Potoo launches without a warning. That enormous mouth isn't just strange to look at. It is a hunting tool. By day, the Potoo disappears. By night, it becomes a hunter. And that is the Potoo's greatest trick. Some birds hide from the forest. The lyrebird does something completely different. It copies the forest. This is the superb lyrebird, a bird famous for one extraordinary ability. The lyrebird can copy the sounds it hears, sometimes with astonishing accuracy.
It can imitate multiple species within one performance.
But the lyrebird isn't just a sound machine. Its whole body is part of the display.
The male builds a display area and performs for a potential mate.
And the more convincing the performance, and the more impressive the display can become. Lyrebirds can even incorporate non-bird sounds they have learned from their environment. But the real secret isn't just copying. The lyrebird remembers and recreates complex sound patterns. While most birds sing their own songs, and the lyrebird turns the sounds around it into part of its own display. High above the Australian rainforest, another bird is making a sound that seems almost human.
This is the Palm Cockatoo, one of the largest cockatoos in the world.
But the strangest thing isn't its appearance. Listen closely. This is the superb lyrebird, a bird famous for one extraordinary ability.
Tap pause. Tap tap. The palm cockatoo isn't randomly hitting the tree.
The sound can carry through the forest, and the performance is linked to courtship and display.
But the palm cockatoo doesn't just make noise. It also uses the forest itself as an instrument.
Every tree has a different sound, and the palm cockatoo can choose where to strike. This isn't just about survival. It's behavior shaped by social communication and display. So while the lyrebird turns sound into a song, and the palm cockatoo turns wood into a rhythm. But the palm cockatoo has another secret. The rhythm isn't the only thing that makes this bird special. The palm cockatoo lives in one of Australia's most isolated rainforest habitats. Here food can be high above the ground, and the palm cockatoo is built for life in the canopy. That massive bill isn't just for making noise, it is a powerful feeding tool. And those powerful feet give the palm cockatoo another advantage. Every movement has a purpose. Grip, balance, reach, and control. And when the forest is quiet, the palm cockatoo can make itself heard. One bird, one stick, one tree, and one strange rhythm that can travel through the forest. The Peregrine Falcon uses speed. The Black Heron uses shadow. The Potoo uses camouflage. The Lyrebird uses sound. 5 birds. 5 completely different solutions. But we haven't seen the strangest one yet. Look closely, and these birds have something in common. None of them survive by accident. The Peregrine Falcon turned speed into a weapon. The Black Heron turned its wings into a hunting umbrella. The Potoo turned its own body into a piece of the tree. The Lyrebird turned the sounds of the forest into its own language. And the Palm Cockatoo turned a simple stick into a musical instrument. But these aren't party tricks. They are solutions to real problems. Finding food, avoiding danger, finding a mate, communicating with others. Every strange behavior has a reason. And the more closely we watch, the more obvious one thing becomes. Nature doesn't always solve the same problem in the same way. The Peregrine Falcon proves that speed can become precision. But speed is only one answer. In the darkness, another bird chooses silence. The Potoo doesn't need to outrun its enemies. It simply makes itself difficult to see. Then, when darkness arrives, the same bird changes roles. The Potoo becomes the hunter. 5 birds. 5 strategies. But none of them looks quite like the next. The lyrebird doesn't hide from the forest. It listens to the forest. Every sound becomes part of its display.
Then high above another forest, the palm cockatoo answers with rhythm.
Not a song, not a call, but a rhythm made by a bird and a tree. And down in Africa, the black heron has another solution. It doesn't need speed. It doesn't need camouflage. It creates shade and waits.
The black heron waits until the water reveals its prey.
Five birds can look completely unrelated, but each one has a different answer to the same challenge. The peregrine falcon became precision. The black heron became shadow. The potoo became camouflage. The lyrebird became sound. And the palm cockatoo became rhythm. And that's what makes birds so extraordinary. They don't all need the same weapons.
Evolution keeps finding new solutions. Sometimes those solutions look impossible.
But nothing about these birds is magic. Their strangest abilities are solutions shaped by life in the wild. 5 birds, 5 worlds, 5 completely different ways of surviving. And perhaps that's the real lesson. Nature doesn't make every bird the same. It gives each one its own way to survive.